Today, we're going to step into this quiet, cozy corner of Tokyo and explore a really beautiful, award-winning novel from Japan. It's a story all about loss, love, and, well, the almost magical healing power you can find in the pages of old books. This is our deep dive into Days at the Morisaki Bookshop.
So this is the book we're talking about, Satoshi Yagisawa's international bestseller. And, it might look like a simple little book on the surface, but it tells this incredibly profound story that is connected with readers all over the world. So together, we're going to break down this incredible journey of healing.
Our main character, Takako, she looks back on this time with these really powerful words. It hints at this massive, life-altering transformation, a moment she says is when her real life began. So how did she get there? Well, it all starts with her old life completely and suddenly falling apart.
And that brings us to part 1, a life derailed.
Okay, so picture this. Takako is 25, and her life is fine. It's perfectly adequate. She's got a decent job, a nice apartment, and a boyfriend she really adores. But then her whole world is just shattered by a shock she says was more surprising than if frogs started raining from the sky.
They're out at this nice, romantic dinner, and her boyfriend, Hideaki, just casually drops this bombshell. And notice, it's not, let's get married, it's, I'm getting married, to somebody else. Turns out he'd been cheating on her the entire time with a coworker. Just a total gut punch.
And from there, everything just unravels with this devastating speed. The breakup is just the first domino to fall. She quits her job because, how could she bear to see him and his new fiancé every day? And because all their friends were from the office, well, she loses them too. She feels completely alone, like she's been cast off into outer space, and her only way of coping is to just sleep. For a whole month.
Which brings us to part 2, A Strange Harbor. Just when Takako has completely shut herself off from the entire world, this totally unexpected lifeline appears.
It comes in the form of a voicemail from Satoru, this eccentric, kinda unconventional uncle she hasn't seen in 10 years, and he makes this really odd offer. Hey, come live for free in the room above my secondhand bookshop. Now, you gotta understand, the shop itself is in this truly unique place, Jimbocho, in Tokyo. This isn't just any old neighborhood. It's a historic district and literally the world's largest hub for secondhand bookshops. It's a place built around stories, a quiet testament to the idea that countless lives have come before yours, which offers this kind of silent, comforting perspective.
But Takako's first impression is, not great. The Morisaki Bookshop is this tiny, cramped wooden building. The very first thing that hits her is this overwhelming, musty smell of old paper. Not exactly the glamorous escape she might have been hoping for.
And her new room? It's less of a room and more of a book storage unit. Seriously, her first day is spent just waging war against these towering, unstable stacks of books just to clear a little space to sleep. At this point, she feels completely duped.
But this completely overwhelming place, this is where the magic starts to happen. In part 3, a new door opens and it leads right to the heart of her healing journey.
So what happens when you're literally drowning in books, when you see them as nothing but a nuisance? Well, for Takako, it leads to this totally accidental rediscovery.
One night she just can't sleep. All those painful memories are swirling around in her head, and in this moment of just pure desperation, she reaches into the darkness, grabs the first book she can touch, and she just starts to read. And just like that, she is completely absorbed, opening a door inside herself that she'd forgotten was even there.
This one small act of reading starts to expand her world. And it isn't just an escape, it's a connection. She starts finding these little notes left by strangers in the margins, or a pressed flower someone used as a bookmark. These little traces of other lives, other feelings. And these small discoveries, they start to fight back against her loneliness, reminding her she isn't the only person to ever feel this way. This newfound curiosity pulls her out of her room and into the neighborhood, where she explores and even makes her first new friend. The bookshop finally starts to feel like home.
But here's the thing about healing, right? It is never a straight line. In part 4, Finding Her Voice, Takako learns that to truly move on, she has to face the past she's been so desperately trying to avoid.
So, 6 months have passed. Takako's feeling better, she's feeling stronger, and then she gets a call from Hideaki. Just hearing his voice churns up all that old pain, and she has this awful realization that she hasn't healed at all. She's just been distracted. Her uncle sees her pain, and he gives her this
Fierce, unwavering support. He insists that running away is not the answer. He tells her she needs to confront this head-on, and that he will be right there with her, no matter what.
So they actually go to Hideaki's apartment, and in this torrent of tears and rain, Takako finally lets it all out. She unleashes months of repressed grief and anger, standing up for her own humanity. And this isn't about getting him to understand, it's about her finally, powerfully speaking her own truth.
And you know what? He doesn't even apologize. He basically dismisses her and shuts the door in her face. But it doesn't matter. By saying what she needed to say, for herself, Takako reclaims her power. She feels this profound sense of relief and freedom.
Which brings us to our final part, setting sail again. That confrontation, that was the last piece of the puzzle.
Now that she's truly healed and ready to start over on her own terms, Takako decides it's time to leave the Morisaki Bookshop. She finds a new apartment, a new part-time job, and she's ready for whatever the next chapter holds.
And her uncle, he totally understands. He shares this beautiful piece of wisdom, reframing her time there not as a period of failure or hiding, but as a necessary and important rest. The bookshop was her harbor, a safe place to drop anchor and repair before continuing the long journey of life.
And that leaves us with a question to think about, doesn't it? The Morisaki Bookshop was Takako's unexpected sanctuary. It reminds us that sometimes the most important part of any journey is knowing when to stop and find a safe place to heal. So for you, what harbor helps you heal before you set sail again?